and I can say what I'm doing, and it tells people I know what I'm doing. Presenting keynote in Barcelona. All right. Yeah, you can read the funny little notes from Ryan and Mike and some other people who are in my social network. So that's Twitter. So I've just let them know what I'm doing. Now, this is another application running on air that enables me to get snipped content from the web. So this is called Snippage, running on air. You can see I've got a little piece here of content. You can see the Springboks, are going to be competing with England pretty soon. They just won, Springboks won last night. I'm sure you guys all know that. And also here's a classic example of information on your desktop, weather. Now, the really cool thing about this is I can get any content from a website and put it on my desktop here on air with this application. So I can just expand this. Because Air supports HTML as one of its media types, I can actually go to a different site and snip some content right from within Air. So I can say, I'd like to follow the on-air bus tour. So I can go to onair.adobe.com, and it will actually load that page right here in Air, and I can see the information. And this particular application gives me this little window I can use to cut out pieces of any web page. So here I'll just drag this. This window is actually built in Flex, running on top of the HTML in the background. And I can grab this guy here and resize him over on the right. So I can select just the content I want. I'll click on the scissors. It cuts that out of the web page and puts it on my desktop. So now I can follow that. Is that cool? And you can use that, make new ones, change the URL. So that's a great way of following information. So that's called snippage. Now let's look at another application. This is called Pronto, and this is a communication application. It's got email, calendaring, voice over IP, news feeds, things like that. I can click around and read my email here. I can also look at the calendar view if I want to see what's going on in my calendar. So it's a great productivity application built on air. And I can see I got a message from Adrian about my website traffic going down. Could I add some audio or something? So let's go check out what's going on with my website. So this is another application that uses Google Analytics. And this is actually showing the status of my website. I can make this window a bit bigger. And I can see my current visit information. If I want, I can look at percent of new visits, and we can load that information. It uses Flex to present the chart, so dynamically. You can see my percent of new visits appears to be going down here. I can also get more information about where the traffic's coming from. So here I've got a little map overlay of the traffic. You can see the stats by region. It's got an embedded Google Maps here. This again is HTML embedded inside of Flex, running on air. So I can see exactly where people are coming from. I can zoom in and get more detail if I want to. One of the great things here is I can make a report. So I can just click on this PDF button, and inside the Google Analytics application on air, it will create a PDF right in place. So I can see that same information in the form of an electronic document here in the application. So there we go, it's a PDF. Now this supports all the functionality that Reader and Acrobat supports. So you can do signing of this document, you can send it to someone else, you can save it to your disk. Anything you can do with PDF, you can do in Air. So here I'm going to just save this to my computer. So there it just showed up on my desktop. So let's quit this and go back to my mail application. And in Pronto, I can actually reply to Adrian. So I'm going to click the reply button here. You can see it pops up a window. Now the windows here in Air you can design to be either an operating system window, like you can see I've got a native OS X window here, or you can design your own window frames, which you can see Pronto's done in the back. You can design this with Fireworks or Photoshop or Illustrator, any web design tools you use. You have full control over the brand of your application and user interface. So here's an email reply. Now I'm going to take this PDF that I saved to my desktop, and of course I can drag and drop that right on top of this mail window, and you can see it will add that PDF to my mail message. So drag and drop support from the desktop to Air applications. Now let's look at, before I send this to Adrian, I'll look at the financial performance of my site using PayPal. This is an application built on Air that lets me see what's going on my site. I can drag the time frame. You can see it dynamically changes the charting. I can look at all the transactions on my website. Again, I can change the time frame. You can see it updates live. Now, one of the great things with this is I can actually take this PayPal application, and I might want to show this chart to Adrian too, to show that the sales are actually still going up, even though the traffic is kind of going down. So here, I'm going to take this image from the PayPal application, drag and drop it from one Air application to another Air application, and you can see it's been added. So air-to-air app communication. So I can go ahead and send this email message to Adrian, and we'll send that off to him. Okay, now that I've sent that message, let's quit Pronto, and we'll quit PayPal here. And one more thing before I go into improving my site, let's take a look at some back-end supplier information for my site, see how that's going. This is an application built by SAP. It's a prototype of their briefing book. And this can pull in information from my SAP system on the back end. I can open up the book and look at a series of reports, just like a briefing book would do. I can click and change the pages. I can see my supplier information here inside the book. Now, I might want to model some things. And so here's working with some numbers in Excel, for example, native application on my computer. And I can project some new numbers for my suppliers. What if this changed a bit? Now, combining that with the data from my SAP system might be kind of hard to do normally. But with Air, you can actually mix and match this data across applications. So I can drag this selection from Excel, native application, and I can drag it over into the Air application in the background. You can see that data has been added to the Air application, and you can see it's got charting here of the new information. So pretty cool. All right. Now I'm going to start playing around with some audio to actually improve the coolness of my website. And so I've got this application written on Air here called Digimix, and I can open up audio mix I've been working on here. And this lets me mix audio tracks together. So let's see what I've got here so far. Okay, that's pretty cool. So I can actually zoom out and I can see things better, and I can add new information. So if I want to, I can pick a new track to add. This one might be kind of cool. That's pretty cool.